Hello, this is Britt Caswell with another example video. In today's video, I'm covering example 1 from section 7-4 in the SavvasRealize Algebra 1 textbook. The goal of today's video is to find the greatest common factor, also known as the GCF. Alright, being able to find the greatest common factor and to do it quickly is going to be pivotal in some of our problems as we move forward. Alright, so these steps are a really big deal for you guys to make sure that you understand completely and know how to do fairly quickly. Eventually, this will turn into some kind of mental math in your head, okay? So the greatest common factor. First, we need to talk about what a factor is. Alright, a factor is when you are multiplying two numbers together to make a product. Okay, so say for example, I have like 4 times 5 equals 20. Alright, this is the product, and these are the factors. So what we're doing is we are figuring out how to find the greatest common factor, something that is being multiplied to make that product, now for polynomials. So the way that we start is actually we're going to be doing some factor trees. Alright, so I'm actually going to start here with the 12x to the 5th. And so you guys probably remember factor trees from middle school, right? Or maybe even elementary. So like 12 is 3 times 4, and 4 is 2 times 2. And once I finally get to some kind of prime number, that's where I circle it. So 12 is the same thing as 3 times 2 times 2, and then I have x to the 5th. So I'm actually going to write 5x is being multiplied here. So that is 12x to the 5th. Okay? Oh, I probably should have left myself more room. I'm gonna move my factor tree down here. Alright, so there is that first term. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that again. Now eventually you won't need the factor trees. You'll get good enough at these that you could do it with mental math. 8 is 2 times 4, and 4 is 2 times 2. So 8x to the 4th, I have 2 times 2 times 2, and then I have 4 x's. Okay? And then I have a minus. Now I'm doing 6x cubed. So 6 is easy. It's just 2 times 3. So I'm going to say it's 2 times 3. And then x cubed, I have x, x, x. So now here's what I tend to do. Is I'm kind of playing Go Fish. Okay, I'm looking for the factors that are a part of all three of these. Okay, so usually the x is the easiest, right? I go to wherever the smallest number of x's are. So I have 3 x's that match. So I know that I have x, x, and x out of this. Now if I look at the numbers, this one has a 3, this one has a 3, but the red set doesn't have 3's. But they all have a 2 in them. Alright, so in this case, now I multiply all this back together and I get 2x cubed. So 2x cubed is the greatest common factor that I can pull out of all of these. Alright, so now I'm going to try it with the try it, okay? Now again, sometimes you don't really need a factor tree. So for example, 15x squared, I know that 15 is 3 times 5. I tend to be kind of lazy. I don't really usually expand the x's. I just look for the smallest number of them, okay? So now let's go ahead and let's look at 18. Now 18 you might need the factor tree for. Alright, remember 18 is 2 times 9, and 9 is 3 times 3. So I'm looking at 2 times 3 times 3. So in terms of the greatest common factor here, The only thing that the red and the blue have in common is a 3. So that is our GCF. Ooh, that was a wild box. Let's try that again. All right, so now let's go ahead and let's try this again. And I'm going to see if I could show it to you without the factor tree. Okay, one trick that I use to help me with these is sometimes you'll have just like a small number, like a 6 here. And if you look, 6 goes into both of these other numbers, right? So when I go to do my factoring list, the most in terms of the numbers that I would have is the 3 and the 2 and the 3 from that 6. It's not like I would match anything else. So that means that I can divide each of these by 6 to get my GCF right away. All right? And then if I look, the smallest number of y's I have is a y squared. So I could take 2 y's, I could circle 2 y's out of all of this stuff, but would only have 2 of them available. Okay, so sometimes you could kind of just mental math your way through this. Another trick I use, like up here, do you see how they're all even? However, if I divided 6 by 2, because that's what evens are, right? They're divisible by 2, I would get a 3. And 8 isn't divisible by 3, so I would have known 2 is my final number there. All right, so that's kind of the stuff that I look for. 15 and 18 are both divisible by 3. So 15 divided by 3 is 5, and I know 5 doesn't go into 18. So that's how I knew I would have stopped at 3. Okay, so this kind of expansion method is good for when you're getting started. But as you get more comfortable with numbers, y'all, this really cleans up quickly. Okay, but there you have it, guys. That is how to find the greatest common factor. Until next time.